With so many great books waiting for me, I sometimes wish I could read faster. Still, it's terrific to have so many awesome books ahead of me still. Today, I'm sharing 25 of the great reads I'm looking forward to in the near future, and hopefully, you'll get some tips for things to add to your reading plan. Here's what I want to know. Do you think I'm right? Are these indeed the books that are worth my time? I'm going to go over this list of 25 books and series pretty quickly, as I haven't read any of them yet. Can't talk much about them when I haven't been through them. They're on this list because of the recommendations of friends, other content creators, and sometimes just my random research. Everything I've heard and seen says these should be great books for me. If you've read them, tell me your thoughts. No spoilers, obviously. These are listed in the order that they're currently on my TBR, but I'm known to move things around subtly based upon mood at the moment, so I don't guarantee I'll read them in this order. Also, highlight this fact, this is not a ranked list. It's just 25 of them in the order they're on my list right now. So let's take a look. Next up, number one. Caveat. I've got a lot of Malazan books that I'm still reading. I've also got a few other self-published things I'm reading right now, but the next time I pick something else, I've got the rest of the First Law series by Joe Abercrombie. I've only read the opening trilogy, which was excellent, so I'll be moving into the standalone novels that sit in the middle of his works, and then moving to the Age of Madness. These books I haven't read yet, 6 novels, came out 2009 through 2021, so quite a span, and we're talking about grimdark fantasy. Should be good. Number 2, a standalone novel, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. Published in 2004, this is alternative history fantasy with magic, and was the 2005 Hugo Award winner for Best Novel. Number 3 is the Fallen Light series by H.C. Newell. This begins with Curse of the Fallen, which was published in 2021. There are 3 books and 1 novella so far. There's more to come in this series of high, dark fantasy fiction. Fourth up is the entire Realm of the Elderlings series by Robin Hobb. I've given this series some crap over the years, but I finally decided I should take a second look. These 16 books are multiple different sets of trilogies and then 1 quartet. They were published from 1995 through 2017. It's all high fantasy, numerous separate stories that all take place in the same world with some tied together points. I'm hoping it's as awesome as so many people seem to think, including Zachary. Number 5, a standalone novel, The Adventures of Amina El-Safrafi by Shannon Chakraborty. This was one of the best books of 2023, according to many other people in BookTube. It's historical fantasy. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Number 6, another standalone book, but from much farther back, The Man in the High Castle by Philip K. Dick. Published in 1962, this is alternate history science fiction. It won the 1963 Hugo Award for Best Novel, and it is the source material for the Prime Video TV show that I've watched part of most of the way through the 2nd season, and I've kind of enjoyed the series. That's why I want to read the book. Number 7, The Empire of the Wolf trilogy by Richard Swan. Published from 2022 to 2024. This is epic high fantasy, and I do believe it is a completed trilogy with these 3 books. Number 8, another trilogy, this time the Adan trilogy by Philip Chase. All 3 of these books came out in 2023 after he spent a long time, many years working and developing the series and then just finally deciding to self-publish. This is epic fantasy that people have raved about. I've interacted with Philip on Twitter numerous times. Seems like a guy I'd enjoy having a beverage with. I look forward to reading his books. Number 9, Spells, Swords, and Stealth series by Drew Hayes. A 5-book series published 2014 to 2022, but it is ongoing according to the author's web page. This is high fantasy humor. It totally looks up my alley. I look forward to it. Number 10, the Jail Song trilogy by Shauna Lawless. First book, 2022. It is an ongoing series. There are 2 books out, and the third one drops next month. I'm recording this on July 31st. You won't see it till August 1st, so I can say next month. This is medieval. Medieval. That's a funny word. Medieval historical fantasy. I've interacted with Shauna on Twitter. I like what she posts, the content I've seen from her. I think I'll enjoy the books. Number 11, The Green Bones Saga by Fonda Lee. These 3 books, a completed trilogy, were published 2017 to 2021. My son Zach has read these, totally loved them. They're urban fantasy with kind of a feel like The Godfather. That's what I'm told. Should be good. Number 12 is the E-Day trilogy by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. These were published in 2021 and 2022. It's a complete trilogy in the military science fiction genre. I've read numerous other works of Nicholas Sansbury Smith, and I've enjoyed his writing. It's easy to follow, it's action-packed. I look forward to the E-Day trilogy. Number 13, the Legends and Lattes series. 2 books out so far. Travis Baldry. These started in 2022, but he says there are more books coming in this world, so I'm going to say it's an ongoing series. But not really. There's the novel, Legends and Lattes. Then a prequel novel has come out as well, and he's under contract now for, I think, 3 standalone novels that will be in the same world. So they're not extending the story, they're telling other stories in this same world he created. This is cozy fantasy. I have not read any cozy fantasy yet, and to be honest, I think I'm stretching a little here in trying this. Zach read Legends and Lattes. He liked it. He's not sure I will. We'll see. Number 14, let's go back in time a bit for the Mars trilogy, which actually has 4 books now, by Kim Stanley Robinson. The trilogy came out from 1992 to 1996, and the first book won the Nebula Award for Best Book, and the next 2 won Hugo Awards for the Best Novels of the Year. This is science fiction, and it does have a follow-up kind of story collection, kind of put forward as chronicles of people in the aftermath of the Mars trilogy, I think, and it's called The Martians, and it came out in 2003. Number 15, King's Dark Tidings by Kel Cade. I first heard of this from Spencer over at the Fantasy Files. I'm going to do some recording with him this weekend. It's always fun to hang with Spencer. He loves this series. It started in 2015. There are 5 books out already, plus a prequel novella, and there are more to come. The series is not done. This is epic high fantasy, I understand. Number 16, another recommendation from Spencer, Galaxy's Edge, and all the related tie-in novels by Jason Anspach and Nick Cole. The series kicked off in 2017, I think, with one called Legionnaire. With its various spin-offs, tie-in series, there's already over 35, almost 40 novels awaiting. None of them are long. They're all military science fiction that just go, go, go. And Spencer was like, this is so good, dude. So I'll check it out. Number 17, The Bound and the Broken by Ryan Cahill. This started in 2021. There's 3 novels already, and he is still writing more in this series. Epic high fantasy. I've heard a lot of praise for Ryan Cahill's work, so I'll get there. Number 18, The Library Trilogy, which only has 2 books, but it's been made very clear there will be 3. We even have the title of the 3rd one. These are all by Mark Lawrence. I've heard a lot of good things about this from some of the people on my Discord server. First one came out in 2023, so this is very current. And again, that last book, I didn't look up the date of when it's expected, but it's not going to be too long. I keep mentioning Mark Lawrence in recent videos. He's a great author, guys. If you haven't checked out any of his stuff, do it. But this Very different from things like The Broken Empire that I've talked about before. This is science fiction fantasy. I think there's even some time travel involved. Should be good. Number 19, Straight Outta Fankton, a trilogy by C.T. Phipps. This was published from 2016 to 2021. It's a comedic vampire trilogy. I recently read Phipps's standalone novel, Moon Cops on the Moon, also science fiction, also very comedic. And I enjoyed his writing style. That's why I put this trilogy on my list. I mean, vampires and comedy, I'm here for that. Number 20, The Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons. This quartet of books was published from 1989 to 1997. It's science fiction fantasy. The first book, Hyperion, was the Hugo Award winner in, I think, 1990, and it won a whole bunch of other awards. The Hugo was only one. The other books in the series did not rise to the same level. Zach has read them all. He really liked the first two, and the other two were okay, he said. Number 21, the Menic Thorn series by Patrick Samfer. These were written from 2020 to 2023. It's another quartet, also another completed series. This is urban high fantasy, or as the author puts it, snarky fantasy mystery. There are comparisons made to the Dresden Files, which is one of my favorite series of all, so I definitely look forward to trying the Menic Thorn series. Number 22, the X-Heroes series by Peter Clines. These were published from 2010 to 2016. The premise is flawed superheroes going up against the hordes of undead. Kind of a genre mashup series. That's totally my thing. So on the list it went. Number 23, the Wayfarer Redemption series by Sarah Douglas. These were written from 1995 to 1999, a 6-book epic fantasy series that really comes in two halves. Books 1 through 3 is one story arc, then books 4 through 6 is a follow-up story arc. Number 24, The Vanguard Chronicles, which only has 2 books so far, so that's a lofty name. The Chronicles, and there's just 2 books. It's by H.L. Tinsley, and she is actively writing more books. The first one just came out in 2020. This is steampunk dark fantasy, perhaps could be called grim dark as well. And finally, on this list of 25, I finished with a big one, the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks. Written from 2010 to 2019, this is a 5-book completed series, very successful, high-selling series of epic high fantasy. Brent Weeks, I've also read his Night Angel series. There's some good stuff there. I've had this series, the Lightbringer series, on my TBR ever since. There's just so many other things I want to read, so I'll get there. So much additional goodness to read. It's great. And this is just where it starts. I have so many more books waiting. So these are just 25 of some of the ones waiting, because in between many of these, I'm going to read some zombie apocalypse books, other similar types of reads all through here. I got to break it up. I love that kind of reading too. It's a little more niche, so I'm not giving time to it here. Most of you don't care about my zombie books. I'll do different content on them because some of you do. Also of note, I do squeeze in self-published works, mostly fantasy, a little sci-fi, that's been sent to us asking us to read and review. These are not noted on the list for the most part. Some of the works here are self-published, but they're not ones where people asked us to, please, will you read this? I just heard about them and I'm going to read them, but I've got others that I'll slip in here. I may also maybe squeeze some Stephen King books in. I had committed to finishing all the Stephen King books, but I really got put off by the last one I tried, Duma Key. I'm still kind of burned out on Stephen King, so we'll see when I jump back into his stuff. Hopefully, not only did you see some great books that you've already enjoyed as I was talking, and you're getting ready to put comments on your thoughts about them, I hope I inspired you to add a few other things to your TBR, or at least go check them out for yourself and see if they fit your profile. If you decide to read any of them and find you love them, again, let me know. And You don't have to just let me know in the comments of this, although I love hearing comments here and I will respond. Down in the show notes, there's other ways you can connect with Zach and I. Invitation to our Discord server, our social media links, really Twitter, X is the place to connect with us there. And we do have an email. The link is there, our email address. Feel free to contact us. All right, that's what I've got. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.